Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE Monday Night Raw 2016 episode for September 26th. There's only one thing to clarify with this show. One line that stuck out throughout the entire episode that blew me away. Talking about we're the best friends in the world. Austin Kutcher and Danny, whatever the hell his last name is from that 70s show, who gives a shit? Jericho and Kevin Owens, they are the most meaningless faction or group or whatever the fuck you want to call them I have ever seen. Number one. Number two, this degrades Kevin Owens as a world champion. I really wish they'd get Jericho away from Kevin altogether, because Owens deserves so much more than this. Now, their whole little thing that they did at the end of the show, which I am going a little backwards here, but their ending of this show with Seth Rollins trying to go down the ring before the actual match for the main event, which was a fucking joke, made absolutely no sense for it to be the main event, nor for it to even exist in the first place, because it did not help in any way, shape, or form help build a match between Kevin Owens as champion against his challenger, which more than likely will probably be Seth Rollins in a rematch at Hell in a Cell. But with all that being said, this whole thing was just fucking idiotic. Near the last 30 minutes to an hour at the end was just garbage. It really was. I could not believe what I was fucking watching here. The big line that stuck out to me the most. Jericho going about saying that Big Cass is part of the list and so is Enzo Amore. Big Cass looks at him and says, "Oh, so you're Santa Claus? Are you checking your lists and double spelling it twice or something?" And he goes, "Maybe I am Santa Claus. How about I sit on your lap?" What? Number one, dumbass, if you're Santa Claus, you're going to have him sit on your lap. Number two, are you gay or fucking screwed up or something? What? This is a fucking wrestling show. Then he's going, I didn't say that. I said I'll punch you in the face. Like, really, this whole thing is questioning whether Chris Jericho is straight or gay at this point, based on the attire that he wears to the ring every single night, especially the stupid scarf, and just the comments that some of the things he says is ridiculous. I mean, I really wish Jericho would just get off television or go back to the old Jericho go to the Jericho of old, because this Jericho absolutely fucking sucks. I can't stomach this character he's playing. By the way, speaking of Jericho, his opponent Sami Zayn from Clash of Champions, did not even have one fucking match on this show, which is a little idiotic in my opinion as well. So that was stupid. We had a match with, the main event was fucking Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Jericho and Kevin Owens. This match sucked ass. This match did not help build to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Horrible start for the World Championship title on Raw. Had two great cruiserweight matches. One with a tag team match with Rick Swann and Cedric Alexander, which those two beat their opponents. Let me go ahead and pull up real quick the actual entire show overall, so I can give you guys a complete breakdown of what's going on here. But utterly, this really was a. I don't know if you could say it was a great show. I would not say it was a great show, but I wouldn't. I don't know if you could say it was a good show, a shitty show, or anything else. I'm kind of caught in between somewhat. But to be quite honest with you, this was a little ridiculous. Um, so, the first match that started was a championship match, which was Roman Reigns and Rusev, which, by the way, really started off well for the crowd. The crowd was really into this match. Surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is back-to-back matches with Roman Reigns with Rusev, where they had a decent match. The only sad part is they wasted 30 minutes of our fucking time with this match, and there was no ending. It was a no contest, a double countout. What a fucking waste of time for everybody to sit there and watch this fucking show and watch a 30-minute match go nowhere. It had no ending. What a fucking joke. So that match ended. We then get Mick Foley in the backstage. Oh god, this was ridiculous. Backstage, we're getting a talk with Cesaro and Sheamus, or actually in the ring. Sheamus is given, and Cesaro is given a title opportunity. They claim the seven match series was a draw, so they're gonna give them both a title shot as the tag team partners against the tag team champions, whoever wins that match, which was the New Day and the Club going at it in another title rematch, which really was stupid. This is reaching their 400th day of being tag team champions. They go up against the Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And again, the New Day win. Now, I don't agree with this. This time, I believe that Gallo and Anderson should have won the tag team titles this time. Because what is the point of going ahead and having these guys win or lose 2 days in a row? That is just making them utterly pathetic. Utterly pathetic and waste of time and space, to be quite honest with everyone. So, my personal opinion, Gallows and Anderson should have won these tag team titles tonight. I feel completely... I really disagree with the decision they made with this. So, I don't quite understand where WWE is going with this. Seems like just a complete waste of everybody's time. It was a good match. Kofi Kingston actually had a horrible scratch on the side of his head. And he was bleeding all over the place from when he was thrown into the steel steps. So very shocking stuff there. From there we got to see footage of Triple H coming out of the limousine with Stephanie from the pay-per-view of Clash of Champions. Definitely notifying you, if you have any brain in your head, you know where this storyline's leading to. It's Stephanie pretending that she's the goody two-shoe commissioner who didn't know a damn thing that's going on, but in all reality, she did. And you can see signs of it each and every week that this is a put-on bullshit story that is not really hidden very well or disguised very well to the audience. So if you have a brain in your head, you're paying close attention to what's going on, you definitely know that this is all a crock of shit. Stephanie McMahon's going to turn on Mick Foley and and have Mick Foley kicked out of commission as the general manager of Raw. I'm pretty sure after not after Vengeance, what am I saying that? I'm pretty sure after Hell in a Cell, we will no longer see Mick Foley as GM. Or at least after Survivor Series. Then you got Mick Foley pleading with Sheamus and fucking Cesaro to be a tag team. The magic is... See if the magic is there. What? What are these? Again, mentioning about gay shit. What the fuck is this, man? Let's see if you just see if you have the magic or the chemistry of being a tag team. Because there's been tag teams, guys that have complete different, diverse personalities, and they end up becoming a great tag team. And then eventually they mention The Rock and Mick Foley as the Rock and Sock Connection, which was a great tag team, but these guys are nowhere in hell going to be coming close to what Rock and Mick Foley put together as a tag team. What a fucking joke this is. I feel sorry for Sheamus and Cesaro. They went ahead and they pretty much trashed them both instead of saving at least one of them to make them look good. You think they would have made one of them win so that they can compete for a world championship shot against freaking Kevin Owens for the Universal title, and instead we're getting this bullshit. Utter complete joke. Bayley defeats an enhancement talent. That's a no-brainer. Rick Swann and Cedric Alexander versus Drew Qualic and Lince Dorado. This match was actually a really good tag team cruiserweight match. Again, they are reintroducing the color scheme of the Cruiserweight Classic with the purple ropes and the purple lights, which I actually really do enjoy. It definitely stands out, making it feel like the Cruiserweights aren't even part of Raw. I have noticed, though, the Cruiserweight in-ring action has been toned down just a bit. I mean, they're still using some of the techniques they were using in the Cruiserweight Classic, but not anywhere near as much as they did in Cruiserweight Classic. Here, they're just toned down a bit more, and I think it's for good reason. I don't think it's a very smart idea to go all out every single entire week, because it could risk getting injuries. Excuse me. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Injuries. So, quite honestly, it's not smart to do that. But for a big pay-per-view, such as like Raw's exclusive pay-per-views, any pay-per-view really for the Cruiserweights, they should allow them to go all out, balls to the wall, doing whatever they want to do to be creative in the ring and be very entertaining to the audience. So I think that would be a smart idea on WWE's part. Not entirely tone them down, but on the weekly basis episode of Monday Night Raw, it would be a smart idea to preserve them from getting injuries. But on the pay-per-views, they just need to take a chance. Let these guys go ahead, do what they do best, perform and do outrageously insane moves that they know they can perform in the middle of that ring and entertain that crowd, because that's what the WWE needs for this Cruiserweight division. But I do understand where they're coming from, and I can appreciate that, but when it comes down to it for a big-time match, they really should allow these guys to do whatever the hell they feel like doing and let them have the freedom of creativity in the middle of that ring. So that's just my opinion overall. We also get Stephanie McMahon yelled at Stephanie McMahon yells at Mick Foley backstage, and again displaying her true colors and slowly but surely showing off that she is turning on Mick Foley and becoming the real bitch that she really is as her character. So who cares on that? Next we had Cesaro and Sheamus defeat two enhancement talents. Who the fuck cares? They were trying to outdo the other. Typical retarded bullshit. Nobody gives a shit. This is going to be a complete failure, a complete waste of Cesaro and Sheamus' time, and most of all our time, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's complete and utter garbage. If you think about it, they're trying to make them like Kane and Daniel Bryan, which I quite honestly think is a complete idiot idea. I really think they should have one of these guys succeed, have the other get rebuilt back up into the main event, and move on. That's how I feel on it. TJ Perkins cuts a decent promo. Kendrick is doing absolutely outstanding. I like how he's doing. He's not bad. They're not diminishing Kendrick at all. Even though he is a veteran, I don't see him winning the Cruiserweight title anytime soon. TJ Perkins is doing fantastic. I like how he sounds on the microphone. He's not, super creative when he talks, but he's straightforward and to the point. And that's the best way to go. If you're not very creative and fancy on the microphone, it's better to stay simple than try to make it complicated. And TJ Perkins is doing that. He sounds very authentic, as a athlete kind of way. So I do like that, and I love how the Cruiserweight division, especially with the Cruiserweight title, feels like an NXT build. I really like how they did this with Kendrick and TJ Perkins backstage. I feel that they should extend this further onto Hell in a Cell and have these two have their final match at Hell in a Cell pay-per-view where TJ Perkins retains the title once again. That's how I feel they should go about doing this and move on. Charlotte comes out, she cuts her promo celebration, states that she's the best in the world in the women's division, and she is carrying the belt. Sasha Banks comes out, she goes, well, that championship's mine, and I'm the best in the women's division. Charlotte goes, well, I don't see then why there's a title, your title around my waist if I'm not the champion? Which makes logical sense for her to say that, but she got a cheap victory over Banks and Bayley at the pay-per-view last night. So they pretty much have announced that the women's championship belt will be on the line as well. So I do like how they're putting championship belts on the line for Monday Night Raw, and they're making them meaningful as well, somewhat. The U.S. and tag team titles did not like how they set those two titles up. It was just out of pure random, and it really didn't have any kind of build or logical reasoning behind it outside of giving us as the audience something worth watching with championship belts on the line. But nothing ecstatic came out of it in the long run. Backstage, Mick Foley tells Seth Rollins not to come out because of his injury with his ribs, which he suffered from Kevin Owens dropping a knee into his rib cage from the top rope. So that's pretty much all there is to that. TJ Perkins and Tony Nese was actually a really good match. And of course, TJ Perkins picked up the victory. So it was definitely a really good matchup. The audience didn't seem too much behind TJ Perkins in this match. They were chanting Randy Savage and CM Punk, which I don't quite understand why the fuck they would cheer for either one of these two, and they're not even in a match. But who the fuck knows? I think that TJ Perkins is an outstanding performer as a Cruiserweight champion. I think eventually, probably by the Royal Rumble, he should lose the Cruiserweight title. Then, as I already mentioned, Chris Jericho's highlight reel situation and the match that led to the main event, that was just the worst ending to Monday Night Raw. If you want to have a complete, honest opinion from me overall, this show would have been great without the ending of Raw. Well, not great. It would have been good. With this ending, it makes it absolute garbage and worthless to watch. I really think that this whole segment should have been in the beginning. We could have at least had Roman Reigns at the end, maybe. At least people would be turning off their television sets. We wouldn't be sitting there trying to watch this shit. Or at least give us the freaking tag team titles match at the end of the show and try to hype that match up a little bit. And then have the fucking club win the tag team titles. Truth of the matter is, these two guys, Anderson and Gallows, should have won the tag titles tonight. For them not to win a Clash of Champions, it's not a big deal. Because, you have them defend it again. If you're going to do that, you better have Gallows and Anderson winning the tag titles. That's just how I feel. If you're not, don't make this... If you're not going to have them win the tag titles from the New Day, then you should have never had the freaking match to begin with. That's just how I felt. I really think the tag titles should have gotten the main event spotlight. This whole segment with Jericho and Owens against fucking Enzo Amore and Big Cass was an absolute waste of everybody's time. It led to nowhere, and it was just a fucking joke. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I feel the show was okay, quote unquote, but overall, it just would have been a hell of a lot better without Kevin Owens and Jericho's segment, because then the show would have been good. But with that being said, please leave your comments and opinions down below. I'll definitely get back to you guys. Hit that like button if you liked the video, and on top of that, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys.